Oh boy, things just heating up. We not even in August yet. Hello, hello, all those beautiful faces. How we doing? How we doing? Stephanie checking in with another episode of Class Disruption. And I know as a teacher, we're usually saying, oh, where do these summer days go? But it's 2020 and every month seems to feel like a whole year on its own. So boy, this summer is deep and I'm not trying to complain, but we got plenty more headlines coming out this whole next month as schools reopen, and it is going to be one roller coaster of a ride. So buckle up, hit that like button if you haven't already. Subscribe, right? Say subscribe. Subscribe, share that love in those comments down below. Let us know what do you think of what's going on in your district. How's your summer vacation going? And of course, share this video. That's the most important thing that you can do. But let's get into it, y'all. Once I go figure out, I gotta go do something with this boy. Then we gonna get into it. I'll be back. So the talk of the town is back to school, of course, and I wanted to share with you this article on back to school shopping money saving tips. Of course not. You don't need that crap. Stop giving your money to big box store corporations. Stop shopping at Target. Stop shopping at Walmart. Social justice includes thinking about where you spend, how you spend your money. That is a key element. Stop giving those corporations your money for back to school, or, you know, whether it's things for your classroom or clothes. Because guess what? Those pants that you stopped wearing 2 years ago because you outgrew them, you gained that 20 pounds during quarantine and you can wear those pants again. Reduce, reuse, recycle. Yes, even if there's a sale and even if you have a crazy coupon. Lady, we are talking about back to school, but because we're in the middle of a pandemic and everybody's freaking out and nobody knows what's going on, and Trump's saying that he's going to take away funds from school if they don't fully reopen, and then his son's school is not fully reopening. But we're going to get back to that. Let's go back to the beginning, all the way back to the beginning of July. You know, it's the end of July now and feels like the beginning of a whole year back. Trump and Davos are demanding that schools reopen if they want to maintain their funding. And of course, this has everybody freaking out and tweeting, oh my God, President Trump, he's a tyrant, he's gonna take away school funding, he doesn't care about the kids. A Politico article summed this up saying, President Donald Trump has spent the past 2 weeks demanding, often in all caps on Twitter, that American schools reopen this fall. But America's biggest school systems are rejecting the president across the country, with one city and county after another opting for virtual education or just a few days a week in school. And the president has little power to do anything about it. And I highlighted that last bit there because that should be the headline. Federalism, people. I mean, this is how I feel about all political issues these days. Everything has become so national politics, and nobody's talking about those state and local politics. But local politics is where it's at. That's where you actually have the power. On this national level, everything is so far away. It's so intangible. It's so run by interest groups and big donors. And it's not that it's not important, we need to be involved, but where we need to be putting our power is in those state and local politics. And school is a prime example of this. They are local as local gets. It is a building in your neighborhood, and that's where most of the policy is made, on that local level. And some of it then at the state level, and very, very little at that national, federal level. But we get all up in arms anytime Trump puts out a tweet. He said in Germany, Denmark, Norway, Sweden, and many other countries, schools are open with no problems. The Dems think it would be bad for them politically if the US opened schools before the November election, but it's important for the children and families. May cut off funding if not open. And I'm going to do a video looking at countries around the world to see what they've done about their schools, how they've gone about reopening, and the extent of their success. But I digress from the topic of this video, which I want to focus on that last line of the tweet, may cut off funding. Because first of all, you know, before you send that tweet, do a little research. Can he cut off funding? But even if you have a little bit of knowledge about how our government works, you should know that it's Congress that is generally in charge of appropriating funds. So, I mean, there are some things the president has control over, but it's very unlikely just from knowing that he can really do much about this. And you would think by now we would have figured out. The man has a larger-than-life personality. He's hyperbolic in his tendencies, right? He gets those Twitter fingers and he just go, 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 and he forgets sometimes about those checks on the president's power. But we all want something to go off about on Twitter, and if you could bash Trump while you're doing it, extra points for you. But I did a quick search, and I very easily confirmed my inklings that Trump has very little control. In the article, it says, most public schools receive the majority of, about 90% of their funding from state and local property and sales taxes. That's money the federal government has no access to. The federal government does, however, finance about 8.5% of K-12 funding, according to the Congressional Budget Office, a nonpartisan leg of Congress. But the president would have little to no control over any money already earmarked by Congress. Not even Education Secretary Betsy DeVos has the authority to withhold the money. Sasha Pudelsky, Advocacy Director of AASA School Superintendents Association, noted in a tweet that DeVos and the Department of Education would need congressional authority to withhold funding from school for not reopening. So you can see he has no authority here. And you could read this on the one hand of, oh, Trump overstepping his authority, which actually in the next paragraph below that, the author does exactly that. Once again, Trump has acted without regard to the basic limits over presidential power, explains Caroline Mala-Corbin, professor of law at University of Miami Law School. The power of the purse lies with Congress, not with the president. And that's what we had said. It lies with the Congress, not with the president. And she is saying that Trump is overstepping his authority because that's just who he is. He's this authoritarian. He's a fascist. And to me, that is just a total misread of Trump. Trump is, he's Trump. I mean, he made it as a reality TV star. He made the brand reality TV somewhat what it is today. Do we expect him to act any different once he's in office? And do I think he should be president? No, but I think misreading the way that he acts as authoritarian or fascist or having, some larger ideological vision. I mean, the man does not have some mass plan or ideological vision. It's just Trump, 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 Trump. It's about Trump. I really think it is a disservice to read him in that way. And because it makes it seem like, okay, Trump bad, and then so anti-Trump is good, but really this is just a power play of the duopoly. And so this is once again where I'm gonna plug the articles of unity, Unity 2020, an idea to bring somebody from the center left, somebody from the center right. Right now there's no particular candidates in mind, just that they have to be courageous and they have to be patriots moving this country forward. I highly, highly, highly encourage you, go check it out. All the information is in the description down below. Show them, pledge your support. This does not mean that you're not gonna vote for who you are planning to vote for now. It's just showing interest that this duopoly, this two-party system that we've created is broken. And this madness with Trump is just a symptom of it. It is not a cause. It's not the root cause of it. It is a symptom of this broken system. And this is how we fix it. So check out Unity 2020. It has a great platform, a great vision. It has safe fails for any of those, let's just wait till next time. No, the time is now. Check it out. And my evidence for Trump not being authoritarian or fascist or having this vision to totally undermine democracy in America is the fact that he starts out here on nearly everything, right? Hard and fast in his position, and then it gets walked back. Whether it's through his press secretary, Kayleigh McKenna, whether it's through his own comments, whether it's just like this throughout the course of the month to where we are at, some schools may not fully reopen. And that probably has a lot to do with the fact that his son's school is not fully reopening, but also just adjusting to the reality of where we are. Thankfully, our democracy still is functioning in some of the way it's supposed to by putting checks and balances on his power. He has not broken down that system. and we're ending the month. We'll see where we're going to go in that next month. With him coming to what I would say is a more realistic goal for the public schools of President Donald Trump is reversing course on schools and is now saying some may not be able to fully reopen in the fall. President Trump said districts in some virus hotspots may need to delay reopening for a few weeks. The president says that decision should fall on governors, but still insisted schools should make an effort to be ready. Trump made opening schools a key priority as he looks to restart the economy, but his push has put him at odds with many health officials. All right, so you can see, less than a month from the beginning when he was saying schools must reopen, and what most people were interpreting as this very harsh position that was undermining or some authoritarian step, to now something that seems much more reasonable. And literally you can go to anything that Trump has said and then look at the course of what it does, and it always ends up at what it should have been really in the first place. But Trump is Trump. And I just don't, again, want us to get distracted by Orange Man bad instead of focusing on what we need to do at the local level to make sure schools are safe, that as many kids as possible can return to in the classroom, can get really high quality online instruction, can have the funds that they need to do that. So let's not get distracted. Let's stay focused, stay involved on that local level, and make sure you smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, hit that bell so you get notified every time I drop a video. And I want to know what you're thinking in those comments down below. What do you think of Trump? What do you think of our constant obsession and distraction with him? What's going on in your district? And it's still summertime out here, y'all, so I need you to stay foolish.